Longstaff has got a bit of space right of centre. Trippier gets involved into the area, cuts inside. Longstaff touch and hit. Goal from Sean Longstaff, and the Geordie gives Newcastle the perfect start. It's 1-0 inside 5 minutes, and Sean Longstaff has driven the ball into the bottom left corner of the goal. Just outside the area, Willock through for Almiron. The cutback. Here's a chance for number 2. Brilliant. Sean Longstaff has got his and Newcastle's second. Bruno Guimaraes is shown a red card. He's sent off. They've done it. They're going to Wembley. We've waited so long for this. But Eddie Howe is the man who has guided Newcastle United to a cup final. Book your travel, hotels, if you haven't done so already, because Newcastle United are League Cup finalists.
Congratulations to all Newcastle fans this morning.
We have one that is stopping us here.
We did not mention your name
Please
before you
just
jump
go.
into the mic. What is it? What is it?
Go,
Kes?
go,
Give me
go,
a
go, go,
No,
go,
guess
go.
what is it?
Go.
Okay, congratulations to you. Jump. Okay, come on. Okay, come and collect mic. Come and collect mic.
Yes, I'm counting, to be in the League Cup final.
What are you saying, Soros? Okay.
I said it's been 46 years and counting that we've been there in the League Cup final.
Yeah.
And over 20 years since we made it to Wembley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'm emotional. I'm so emotional.
But you guys are playing Manchester United. No, don't let me spoil your
Don't-
joy
don't-
this morning.
don't even think
Don't
of it.
let me spoil your joy this morning. But you are emotional. Looking at the energy coming from Newcastle United, Eddie Howe is a manager that nobody felt like would perform a miracle or a magic with Newcastle United. A team that got relegated, but maybe we say the money has now come to play here. We saw how the owners came in towards the end of last season, and this is what we are seeing this season.
Yeah. I won't admit that the money really came to play. But let's get something right. In as much as the money came to play, because we had clubs that really had money, but yet they are still struggling, you know what I'm saying? But in as much as they...
No, you want to mention
I
Chelsea?
know, I'm
Mention
not
Chelsea.
I'm not mentioning-
Mention Chelsea now. Mention Chelsea. Mention Liverpool. No, Liverpool doesn't have money, Jerry. Oh, yeah, let's go, Jerry. Newcastle.
Yeah, but in as much as the money came to play, he did something which was really remarkable. He made players believe in themselves. He really established players that were still in the team to believe in themselves, to up their game, to really change the pattern of play, and the rest is history, like they say. And now we're in the finals.
So, for Manchester United, they have a 3-goal lead over Southampton, right?
No, Nottingham Forest.
Against Nottingham Forest, I beg your pardon. But looking at that semi-final going down today, I mean, it's like done and dusted, a dead rubber game.
Yeah, obviously. I don't
Okay.
think there's nothing Nottingham Forest can do to them.
Nothing Nottingham Forest can do. And for Newcastle United, you guys did not really do any major signings in a January transfer window,
Yeah,
not like big
big
signings.
yeah.
And maybe that is what is keeping Newcastle going. But how can you survive against Manchester United in the final?
Well, it's still a month from now, so I feel we can really gather up our game. It's a matter of keeping steady in the team, you understand, and then keep having that amazing run, unbeaten amazing run, and we'll see what the final comes for us.
Amazing Grace. All right, well, Kes is a Newcastle United fan, and that's the only Newcastle fan I've ever seen since I started supporting, since I started doing sports.
And
I mean,
he's actually shedding tears. I'm like,
are you seriously shedding tears?
yes, he is.
Kes,
I
come
can
on, collect.
see. I can
Kes,
see.
Wagba.
It's scary.
Kes, take. I have mint here.
God, if it's even 1,000 naira, I understand.
These days 500 naira. What do you mean?
50 naira.
If some people get this one this morning, wouldn't they be happy? If you had gotten that very early yesterday, will you go and open my bag?
That is true.
Check us out right now, 9:05 live from your Remedy Radio, Dire Solutions 939 FM, talking about Newcastle United. Congratulations to the Magpies. But let's just quickly look at updates from the world of tennis this morning in the Lyon Open. The doubles event, walk over for Anna Blinkova, Enrique Ekeri, and that gave opportunity to Monica Nicolescu and Victoria Gulovic moving to the next round. But we've got the singles game going down today. The first game, Rebecca Masarova will be in action today against Jasmine Polini, while Alisa and Van Jovchanko will be up against Tamara Kopazov. And Aya Parks will take on Petra Matic. While Mario Osorio by 6:30 today will be up against Joe Nemer and Linda Noskova to take on Maya Sharif. But remember, yesterday we got some set of games that saw Erika Andreeva, Anna Bolder, Alicia Parks, Danka Kovinic, Shuang Zhang, Connie Garcia, and Clara Burrell moving to the next round of the Lyon Open tournament. Well, let's just move away from tennis this morning and let us talk update about basketball. Some games were decided in the wee hours of today.
Well, it was a game of luck for Denver Nuggets against the New Orleans Pelicans after they defeated them by 122 points to 113. Milwaukee Bucks also did damage against Charlotte Nets, 124 points to 115 points. LA Lakers Clippers clipped the wings of Chicago Bulls, and that was 108 points to 103. LA Lakers, yes, did something great, 129 points to 123 points. That was a defeat for New York Knicks. LA Lakers defeated New York Knicks there. Miami Heat actually won the game against Cleveland Cavaliers, 100 points to 97 points. That's a 3 points difference from that particular side this morning. We also have other updates right here from Formula One. Yes, Formula One is about to start, and it's looking like a good turn for Formula One because AS have become the first team to unveil their new look for Formula One in 2023. We're starting the sports launch season with an updated red, white, and largely black livery with features new title sponsor MoneyGram. The US team reviewed pictures of the new VF23 car online on Tuesday ahead of a shakedown at Silverstone on February 11th. That's going to be a powerful image for us.
Okay. Now, Alaja, good morning to you. Today you will tell us the club you support. Today we must know the club you support. But let's go on a break. I know she's from Kwara State and she supports Kwara United. Yeah. Let's go on a break, and when we come back, we talk about the NPFL.
It was that argument yesterday between myself and Oladapo Kunubi against Gombe United and Shooting Stars. Well, the D-Day is here. It's February 1, and that game will be taking front in the home ground of Gombe. And that's when Shooting Stars have gone on here. By here. So can't play them. But Abia Warriors will be up against Niger Tornadoes. Bias United will take on Doma United. Akanami will be up against Bendel Insurance. Enugu Rangers will take on Dakada FC. Quarry United will be up against Aqua United. Lobby Stars will be up against Sunshine Stars. Nasri United is going to play Plateau United. And Remo will be up against Eyimba. Rivers United will take on Wikitoris. All by 4 o'clock in those various locations today. The Nigeria Premier Football League is going to be hot this evening.
I'm beginning to like you more. Like, when I forget things, you get it very fast. I can never get Nigeria Premier Football League very fast like that. But we wish all teams playing in the NPFL today all the best. That should be the match day 5 of the NPFL. Remember, after round 4, looking at the standings, Bendel Insurance topping Group A with 12 points. Remo Stars is second. Eyimba is third. So now this is the battle between, for Remo Stars, the battle between second and third. And a victory for Remo Stars will give them 12 points, right? And a victory for Eyimba will give them 10 points. Looking at teams, Aquara United, that is Alaja's team, is with 2 points, and a loss for them today.
They don't even have hope.
Okay. And looking at Group B, Rivers United is with 10 points, topping that group, while Lobby Stars is with 9 points second. Niger Tornadoes is third with 7 points. But that's the update from the NPFL. And wishing all the teams to remember, say no to violence at match venues. But now moving away from that, let's talk about the under-20 team of Nigeria.
Well, Super Eagles head coach Jose Santos Rosario was presented at the NFF/FIFA Go Project pitch on Tuesday morning as Nigeria's under-20 boys,
that's the
Flying
Flying
Eagles, moved Capital City Football Academy 4-0 in a friendly match. Delighted Rosario, while speaking with head coach of the Flying Eagles, that's Landon Bosso, said the team has a lot of quality and he's convinced that the under-20 boys will put up a performance in Egypt that will be good enough to qualify them for the FIFA under-20 World Cup finals in Indonesia later this year.
We wish the team all the best, right? But let's talk about the Chan. That is the African Nations Championship. Remember yesterday, Senegal, Algeria booked their places into the next round. Senegal defeated Madagascar 1-0 as Algeria bashed Niger Republic 5-0. That was what happened yesterday. And let's just move away from that. And last night it was more of transfer stories. But before talking to transfer stories, very soon we should be seeing Sergio Ramos in the Spanish national team squad. And that is coming from Luis de la Fuente, who's the new man in charge of the Spanish national team. And going straight to Italy, Simone Inzaghi felt Inter Milan's desire to reach the Coppa Italia Final Four at all costs was crucial to the 1-0 quarterfinal victory over Atalanta at the San Siro. Congratulations to Newcastle United. And, remember, Manchester United will be in action tonight in their EFL Cup semi-final against Nottingham Forest. Remember, they won the first leg 3-0. But now let's look at transfer stories. Enzo Fernandez is now a blue man. But for Nottingham Forest that we're playing tonight, we got updates that they signed PSG goalkeeper Keylor Navas and Jojo Chauvet from Newcastle United and Felipe from Atletico Madrid to take the number of signings to 29 this summer. Ha!
Chelsea.
Ha! Okay, but it is okay.
It's Chelsea that can only perform this magic.
We're now talking about one man who also made a move, part of the shocking moves yesterday. Not really shocking moves, but
you know what? I have no idea what Mikel Arteta is thinking. First Trussard and now Jorginho. I'm like, why would you choose this players?
Are you the manager?
No, why would you choose
He has his reasons.
Why would you choose these players, especially Jorginho from Chelsea? The thing that Chelsea is trying to send him away, you just went to go and pick up
let me tell
Maybe
you something.
need experience, I understand. But can't you just learn from Chelsea going for the younger hands? Why Jorginho?
But this is Jorginho speaking after joining Arsenal yesterday.
Very excited. I'm very excited for this new challenge, and I just can't wait to be on the pitch, to be honest. Crazy. Everything happened so fast. I was a bit surprised, and I took the opportunity of this amazing challenge, and I'm very happy. Yeah, of course it was a big influence because I know he tried a few times before and didn't happen because of other reasons, not because of my wishes. So of course it had influence. Well, I tried just to add, just to help with the experience I had.
So now you get that it's about the experience. But guys, shout out to all teams that made their signings last night, and you could see Laffy shaking his head. Yes, Jorginho is a good signing. Don't worry.
I fear for us now.
No. Well, no, you talk about that on the headlines.
We want to take a commercial break.
I don't want to consume this.
We want to take a commercial break. We'll be back.
All right, we look at headlines on the pages of Nigerian newspapers. Do not go anywhere. My name is Oladapo Okunubi, aka Young Striker 9.
And I'm Favor Laurentola.
gbogbo èèyàn ló máa ti máa ṣe bolóyè Adébáyọ̀ Adélabú Pẹ̀nkẹ́lẹ́ Mẹ́ẹ̀sì ọmọ níbi níran ni ó ti ṣetán láti gbé ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ débùté ògo ká fi ìbò wa gbé ojúlówó ọmọ Pẹ̀nkẹ́lẹ́ wọlé àkọọdù lẹ́gbẹ́ wa òkè téńté la wà lórí ìwé ìdìbò ká fi ìka wa sọ̀rọ̀ gbé olóyè tó lọ́gbọ́n tó mọ àtòlú dépò kí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ lè gòkè àgbà Báyọ̀ Adélabú la fẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ olówó ni ọ̀rẹ́ mẹ̀kúnnù ni pẹ̀lú Báyọ̀ Adélabú dé ìrànlọ́wọ́ dé fún tilé toko.
gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti gbáradì nírẹ̀ pẹ́tẹ́ pé gbogbo wa la máa jáde dìbò fún pẹ́. tiẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé nígbà tó o bá ń dìbò ṣe ló ń pa ohun tí ẹ pọ̀ mọ́ tàwọn ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn tí wọ́n ń pe ìjọba sí àkíyèsí nínú ìṣèjọba. Ètò ìdìbò kù ọjọ́ 23 lónìí. Ìwọ náà dìbò láti sọ̀rọ̀ tiẹ̀ náà.
Ìkéde ìwá láti ìkànnì Solutions 93.9 FM.
My fellow Nigerians, this time around, we don't need politicians who will promise us heaven and earth anymore. We need just one man who will empower local productions, make our naira valuable, tackle insecurities, transform power sector and other key sectors in this nation. Now, who is the person? Peter Obi! In this coming election, cast your vote for Peter Obi for a new Nigeria. Peter Obi, the man with a track record of transparency, accountability, and selfless service to the people. The only presidential candidate who loves Nigeria. Let's join hands together with Peter Obi to hand over Nigeria back to Nigerians under the auspices of Labour Party with the symbol of a father, mother, and child. Together we can. Labour Party, oneness and progress. An answer, Honorable Olusegun Theophilus Oladimeji Otto, Labour Party candidate, Oyo South Senatorial District.
It's 23 days to the 2023 election. To permit irresponsible authority is to sell disaster. Vote wisely.
This message is powered by a Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
All right, it's 9:19 on Solutions 93.9 FM. It's my pleasure to welcome you on to from the daily segment of AM Update on Solutions 93.9 FM. And let me start by saying Happy New Month. It's a brand new month, the second month of the year 2023, the very first day of the month of February. And in response to what
I know you were going to give me a response.
You know, I'm an ardent fan of Arsenal.
Now, quick question. What is Mikel Arteta thinking signing Jorginho?
Well, I've decided, today being the first day of the month, I've decided to respond to you, and that was a comment on the kickoff spot.
Discarded too.
With a prayer point. Now, to all the listeners of Solutions 93.9 FM right now, and to you and Dapo, I will have this prayer point. The God that moved Jorginho from the 10th position to the first position will also move you from nothing to something.
Oh my God. So you are saying it's a
February.
major upgrade for Jorginho.
I mean, somebody moving from the 10th position club to the first club, I mean, that settles it.
Oh my God.
Good morning, it's from the dailies.
It is just the grace of God that will help you maintain it with the signings that you made for the January transfer window.
Whoa.
Everybody, it is 23 days, 22 hours, 39 minutes, 10 seconds to the election of the year 2023. It's fast approaching.
Definitely.
And yes, we've been expecting this from last year, and it's here already. Happy New Month. My name is Favor or Lawrence. Now, you know what? I am shocked to my bone marrow. Like, I experienced something I didn't think I was going to experience yesterday.
Okay.
Number one, I was at the ATM stand. I couldn't get money. I had to leave. And I went to the POS stand, and they were like, for 5,000 naira, you have to give 500 naira. And it's like, per 1,000 naira, you're paying tight now.
Well, on Saturday, I needed a new note, and for 20,000 naira new note, I had to pay 2,000 naira for 20. So eventually I got 18,000 instead of 20,000. I mean, well.
And I remember that God is faithful. I'm not even as faithful in my tithe paying, and now I'm paying tithe to POS. POS people.
It's a terrible
God,
situation. It
we
is
will-
a terrible
We
situation.
will actually succumb this.
Okay, I have the Punch newspaper and the Nigerian Tribune with me, and let's start off with the Punch. What are the papers you have?
I got the
with you?
Vanguard newspaper with Sharon Tribune. So.
Okay, let me take the Punch. Okay, banks will accept old notes after deadline. Emefiele, that's the CBN governor. Naira note, coalition threatens shutdown of non-compliant banks. Okay, moving further still from the Punch newspaper, CBN uncovers 4 million naira in Ogun, knocks commercial banks. Okay, Nigeria ranks 150, scores 24 on corruption index. Okay, moving further, CUPP petitions Buhari alleges violent plot by politicians. Osinbajo presents Person of the Year award to Marwa. Thugs attack APC campaigners in Rivers. And still from the Punch newspaper, INEC to conduct mock accreditation with BVAs in Delta. Osun Tribunal, Adeleke didn't forge certificate, says aid. And still from the Punch, why we stopped pro-Tinubu rally, Niger police. These and many more headlines will be found on the pages of the Punch newspaper this morning.
Okay, let me take this from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The first one I have here is order from above. Police soldiers, FRSs stop Niger pro-Tinubu rally. Fuel scarcity endangers our plans. INEC. Elections. INEC commences distribution of non-sensitive material in Nasarawa. Presidential poll will not allow any convict to contest NBA vows. NBA is not for basketball, it's Nigeria Bar Association. And now we have federal government records $1 billion investment in automotive sector. That is the minister. Nigeria's public debt stock increases to 44.06 trillion naira in third quarter 2022. NBS. NNPC takes over Adex Petroleum Assets. Don't play politics with Nnamdi Kanu's life. IPOB tells federal government.
Okay, now moving to the Nigerian Tribune this morning. 2023 polls will be the best. Senate President assures EU observers Kenya's Raila Odinga. And still from the Nigerian Tribune, investors reluctant to invest, consumers careful to spend over fear of electoral violence. Osinbajo. 2023, secure our borders. Aregbesola directs NIS. My tenure as entrenched true democratic principles in Nigeria. Buhari. Okay, moving further, still from the Nigerian Tribune poll. Police train 612 officers to combat cultism, kidnapping, electoral violence nationwide. PDP sponsored Urchin's protest against Buhari in Kano. APC alleges. Okay, these and many more will be found on the pages of the Nigerian Tribune.
Wasn't it yesterday
this morning.
that the PDP accused the APC Tinubu campaign of actually sponsoring the protest against President Mabura in Kano? Well, that's very interesting. Well, I have the front page also of the Nigerian Tribune here.
Okay.
And I'll just be taking some stories that were not mentioned from yours. Tinubu's threat against Akwa Ibom government affirms its autocratic tendencies. PDP campaign council. I'll restore peace, security to Sokoto as president. Atiku. And now, perhaps approve Buhari's request for restructuring 22.7 trillion naira ways and means owned by CBN. Buhari's visit, Kano Stone Pelter sponsored by politicians. And now we have this one also in Emefiele, but let's see from the angle of the Nigerian Tribune. Only CBN will accept old Naira notes after February deadline. Emefiele says new cash policy would moderate inflation, stabilize its exchange rate, strengthen Naira. Finally appears before reps. He has not appeared, but finally has appeared. And now CBN, EFCC arrest 3 bank staffers for stealing new Naira notes. You can find that story on page 8. Kwankwaso in Ibadan says TM open for restructuring. And please stop land APC rally in Niger over security threat. And also on election, INEC makes request for seamless fuel supply. we are interested in stable political environment. NNPCL GMD. And now we're moving over to the burning issue for today.
Okay, after several weeks of invitation by the National Assembly given to the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele to appear before the House to explain the modalities of the new policies raised by the CBN, eventually the Federal Governor finally he honored the invitation of the National Assembly, and it was at the floor of the House yesterday, and he had this to say.
Let me apologize for my inability to be here. It was not intended to undermine your work, undermine the committee, neither is it intended to undermine the hallowed chambers of the House of Representatives. I addressed the bankers on Sunday, and I expressed to them my disappointment, and in fact disappointment of the President. Many of us have unfortunately seen the new Naira, instead of being used for the purpose it is meant to. The new Naira is being used in parties, in celebrations. And some of them said, well, maybe it's money from the ATM. I said no. Money from the ATMs are already broken. They are in leaflets. But what we saw being stamped on people at parties were packets of the new Naira notes, which means that they had breached certain aspects of the guidance notes we gave to them, subject to the content of the CBN Act Section 20, subsection 3, which says, even after the old currency has lost its legal tender status, that we are mandated to collect those monies. And I stand with the House of Representatives on this. What does that mean? You would have lost its legal tender status, in which case we have moved on, but you have your money that you have not been able to send into the bank. We certainly will give you the opportunity to bring them back into the CBN and redeem it. Either you pay it in your bank account or you want to do exchange, we give you. You will not lose your money. That is the assurance I give to Nigeria.
Okay, that was Godwin Emefiele there, the central bank governor, explaining the modalities behind the new policies raised by the CBN at the floor of the Senate yesterday. And I'm glad to inform you that we have our analyst for the day, that is Dr. Cornerstone, already with us, joining us virtually. Good morning, Dr. Cornerstone.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Okay, now I hope you listened to the statement given by Central Governor. Okay, what's your take on these explanations?
Well, I want to say very clearly that before him going to the Senate to explain having, because of the probably the warrant of arrest that the lower house is bringing to him, at least he has proven to them that he'd rather speak to the higher house rather than speaking to
the lower house.
To the lower house. And so, before going, I don't think there was anything relating to any misunderstanding or misrepresentation of information. And what he also did say yesterday is very, very clear. The reason for the extension is because they feel more money can be taken from circulation instead of those monies to waste. And The only thing that I don't really know what the Senate wanted to hear yesterday. I don't really know what the Senate wanted to hear yesterday. Number one, he's acting within the whims and caprices of the law upon which he can act.
Okay.
And that is very, very clear. Number two, the policy is for the benefit of us all.
Okay.
Now, Luffy, how do you feel that in the year 2023, there are still certain monies that are carrying 2015, the year 2015, the year 2011 as their printed dates?
I see a lot of them.
Okay, so if you see monies that are, in fact, you will be so shocked that certain monies are still carrying the signatory of the former CBN governor, which is Sanusi Lamido. Can you imagine that even at this time, we still have monies returning to the bank bearing the signature of
the former central bank governor?
The former central governor, now Emir Emeritus. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the level to which I tell you that a lot of people actually hoard because there's no better way to call it, is money laundering and hoarding. Another thing you must understand is this. If the CBN decides to renege on this impact, the time value of money is eroding Nigeria. A money of 500 naira that was printed in 2015, for example, and kept indoors by one man, that money between 2015 and today is expected or supposed to have been worth more than the total number of transactions that money was used for. So the reason why the central bank can probably print money at a cost that is higher than the value of the money is because the time value of the money so makes that money to have done the job that makes it very, very easy for us to say that the central bank had actually spent almost 0 naira to print it. But when such money is tied up in somebody's house in the name of stocking or in the name of hoarding or in the name of so that I can have money to do whatever I want to do, and then you talk about 1 billion, talk about 2 billion, you talk about 30 billion in one person's house, and that money is tied up for years. The time value of such money is dead.
Definitely.
All of us are losing in that regard. The reason why we are saying Nigeria is not prospering is because the flow is very, very low. And people still have a way of keeping these monies. There's no better way to say Nigeria should be better if we are not willing to support the central bank in this regard. I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday. I told him, I said, see, what this means is this. In the last 8 years, for this money to... someone said, the central bank has come to say, we have been able to retrieve 2 trillion naira from circulation. What CBN policy will have been able to fly when you have 2 trillion naira that can actually sway your decision against you?
Okay.
What policy would you be having to say you want to fight for the naira when people have monies in their houses to use to fight your own policy?
Okay.
The only one that is painful for me is hearing some people saying that this policy is against certain people. It's a saboteur policy. Who is it actually sabotaging? Is it me now that I have to go to the ATM and I can't find money, and then I go to the people who are my last resort, the POS, and then I am paying 1,000 naira for every 10,000 naira I withdraw?
Okay, now from where you stopped there, Dr. Cornerstone, let us take it from this angle. Now, just on Sunday, the CBN extended the deadline for this thing, and today is February 1, meaning we have barely 9 days left to the expiration of this deadline. Now, do you feel this, and on Monday we discussed this thing, and you made mention of the fact that this policy is very good in curbing vote buying. Now, looking at the masses, I was at like 3 banks yesterday. I couldn't even enter. I couldn't gain entrance into the banks. And I went to the POS. Only one of them was willing to dispense. And he told me that I could get only 2,000 naira. Now, with the few days left to the expiration of this thing, do you feel that the CBN has made enough plans to make sure this new notes go in circulation?
Okay. I will tell you very authoritatively and very clearly that the new notes are available very well.
Where are they? Where are these new notes?
Oga, listen.
Okay.
These monies are available.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the coffers of the CBN. But
Okay.
there's a challenge with us right now that all of us must see it from the eye of the CBN.
Okay.
Election times are times where monies go into circulation unabated.
Okay.
And the capacity of the CBN to mop up funds once elections have passed are very difficult.
Okay.
And so CBN is doing everything possible to making sure that this election coming will not be a reason for us to have a free-for-all release of monies into circulation, especially from
Is this
both
not
buying and
is this not
mobilization.
taking a toll on the masses? Because I was somewhere
Yeah,
yesterday,
it will.
somebody wanted to buy
Listen,
bread,
sir.
didn't have
Oga,
cash.
listen.
Mm-hmm.
Oga, listen.
Okay, I'm
Oga,
listening.
listen.
I'm with you. We're together.
Once you are talking about a toll, the question you
Okay.
ask yourself is this: a toll is not something you would probably say you want to dismiss. If there's not, it's not an option. You would have said it's bringing so much hardship on Nigerians. If there's not an option, the option is money transfer.
Money transfer is
Am
the
I
option.
correct, sir?
Money transfer.
Yeah.
But
money
we
transfer is an
know
option.
that
But
not.
the only challenge with that money transfer.
Okay, yes.
Oga, let me finish, sir.
Okay, all
The
right.
only challenge with that money transfer is that there are a lot of still petty things, retail stuff that we want to buy. Am I correct?
Yes.
This
Okay.
moves us to the point of now knowing how good and well for us to actually have our markets arranged in retail centers. Are you getting what I'm saying?
I'm with
See, whatever policy that we are doing right now gives right to a better plan, to a better market for Nigeria. It means anybody now who is looking at department stores, who is looking at street stores, you get me?
Okay.
Going forward in the future, that will be able to work. It means the issue relating to having, I don't want to mention their name, but when you are on Ring Road, you will see them. You understand what I'm saying?
Dr.
Having a
Cornerstone,
big
you haven't
store.
answered my question though.
Okay.
We have today is February 1. We have 9
Okay.
days left to the expiration of this thing.
Okay.
And people, as we speak, there are people queuing up at the banks, and the banks, the tellers are telling them that there are no, even getting it is even difficult. Even the POS people can't even get access to the cash. Do you feel this 9 days left will be enough?
My brother,
Mhm.
this is what the CBN is doing, and that's the answer I was trying to bring to you.
Okay, please do.
February 11 to February 25 is 15 days.
Okay.
The CBN is looking in the direction that 15 days will not be too much for too much money to pump into society because of pre-election.
Okay.
So if the CBN releases that new currency as at the time they said January 31st, and everybody has access, you therefore realize that even an individual has got capacity to withdraw 500,000 naira of the new money within 1 week.
Okay.
And 500 in 4 times or 5 times, that's about 2.5 million naira per person. And then corporate organizations have got 5 million naira to withdraw on daily basis. This will put a whole lot of money in circulation. What CBN was trying to correct before will start happening again.
But this money, to get this money from the banks is difficult. That's my point.
Yes, that is what the central bank is essentially doing now. So making
okay.
sure that that is the answer I was telling you.
Okay.
That CBN is actually restricting the use of the naira, especially the physical naira. If you want to do anything now, try and do things on. That's what the CBN is saying. Try and do things from transfer basis, because through transfers, physical cash. Through transfers, money can still be traced. But physical cash released to you makes the society to be full of cash that cannot be traced.
But Dr. Konos, okay.
It is painful. Listen, Favor, I'm sorry to say, it is very, very painful at this time that we are passing through it now. But a lot of other countries who now have monetary policies that work have passed through this level before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that this time we are passing through it. You cannot have a nation where you can't trace your naira. You can't have a nation and you say that nation will grow. Nations that grow is when you have capacity to trace where your monies are going. For example, now, there's already an issue with people selling the naira, the new naira note, at what do you call them? At Sabo.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
The rule and where money is supposed to be spent is this. Money going to Kano State has the numbers in Kano State. If you find that money in Lagos State, we should be able to ask questions, how did it get to Lagos? And so this free for all, we're only sorry.
Okay.
I'm probably speaking on the behalf of the CBN now. Like this time is happening. Every nation that has control over its monetary policy, we have to go through this process.
I understand the point. I understand
saying.
the point that we need to embrace the culture
But
of
whether
doing
the time you are saying, let me tell you this one for free.
Okay.
That we might still have the extension of this thing to February 20.
Okay.
And by February 20, money starts getting released to society.
Hopefully.
And so between February 20 and February 25, how much can the politician withdraw or people withdraw for the purpose of flooding the election?
But Dr.
The time is very, very short.
Dr. Conister,
Yeah, the time is very short.
let's put into consideration that, yes, the banks are saying that there is no note, the new notes are not available. As at yesterday, I was watching a video of a couple. It's not a guest, a couple handling 200 naira bill, 500 naira bill, 1,000 naira bill, and throwing it in bunch. It's not one after the other, bunch.
The video
and I keep
went
wondering,
viral.
where is this coming from? As at yesterday, I still had a report of someone going to the bank and saying that what was dispensed on the counter was 100 naira notes.
Even
and they are
5
not,
naira notes
and they
in
are
some
not,
banks.
And they are not new. They are old notes. People are rejecting. I had to get 3,000 naira yesterday, and by paying 300 naira. It's not only, these people in the black market that are selling the naira, even POS points
I want
are
to say
selling
that I was just speaking to one of my staff now, telling them that it's like also the POS are taking advantage, undue
it's
advantage.
not like
over
they
people
are taking
who actually-
advantage.
Yeah, because the thing here is very simple. Policies come and there are going to be fallout concerning these policies. The best time to actually take your policy serious is when you know an event or a happening that can bring your policy to ruin. Now, that person you said was spraying the money, was spraying the naira, new notes in that. Thank God, at least that video has come. The authorities can go after the person to know how he got the money that he's spraying that way. That is the impact that social media has brought to us. There's nothing you do in isolation now that will not come to the fore. The beauty of this principle is simple. If there were probably a foil to buy, at least we will have said something is ameliorating our wait, because I don't want to call this a suffering. This is the waiting period. Number one, an election in Nigeria gives opportunity to all forms of money to be released to society. And then there's a free for all on the dollar to the naira. The CBN has been spending so much to defending this, and we are not even seeing the impact until a monetary policy that makes cash more pop. Very, very strong on your nation. That will not happen. Number two, you will understand that it's not only cash more pop we are doing now. You can't make any foreign purchase as we speak right now. Because if you start making foreign purchases at this point when we are trying to make monetary policies work, our imbalance of trade can reach up to $98 billion. If we are not careful within this time, that's why the central bank also blocks that point. I get what I'm saying.
Yes.
And now they have released a card, they have released a national card for which countries will not just steal from us unnecessarily. These are policies we should know that they take time to take effect. But the issue here right now is that I can tell you, sir, that the POS persons collecting money, they are just holding it for the time because they know their time for this business is short.
Okay, Dr.
After the election, when the naira is now in place and CBN can tell us that, monies were not spent anyhow for the purpose of the election, there's no money, the monies in coffers in all the banks compared to their books is still what was released. Because this is what happens. You release 500 million notes. Am I correct?
Yes.
Let's say that 500 million note is worth 25 trillion naira. Then after election, you look at all monies in banks and the money in central bank. You realize that all monies in banks and the money in central bank is now 17 trillion.
Okay.
meaning 7 trillion naira has entered into private hands that you can never, that those 7 trillion naira are. What policy will you release against the dollar that 7 trillion naira cannot pursue?
Okay,
right.
I get your point, Dr.
So that is the principle. So the question now is, once you have 25 trillion naira in the bank and the central bank has released 25 trillion naira, at the end of the day, we should be able to check all fund balances with the central bank and see that at least we still have 24 trillion naira with them. That's how to do business.
Dr. Cornerstone, let's move away from the CBN now and talk about INEC. There was this headline on the Vanguard newspaper this morning stating that fuel scarcity is going to endanger the plans of the election that is coming from INEC. And it's been like since the end of the month, towards the end of the month, INEC has been coming up with one excuse or the other. First is with the runoff, and now is the fuel scarcity. Why is it that INEC is capitalizing on this? Will this move forward? Will this not move forward?
Well, I want to say that movement is key to anything that has to do with election and leadership.
Okay.
Movement is very key. Okay. And whatever hinders movement will hinder flow.
The flow, okay. Okay, Dr. Cornerstone, just before we let you go, there is this issue I want you to address in 2 minutes. The Transparency International came out with a new scoring of Nigeria on the corruption table list, and sadly, Nigeria ranks 150 on the list out of 180 countries and scored 24 out of 100 points. Is this administration truly winning the war against corruption?
Well, at the score, the president we have right now is one man with a scoreboard that does it by himself. Well, at least in Transparency International, the last time we were 156. Now we are 150. Yeah, well, let's say that at least we have moved some points.
But we're still scoring 24 out of 100.
Yeah, out of 100. There are so many things that you want to look at to say Transparency International's scorecard. Okay. About 6 of it, we are not doing well with it. Number one, ease of doing business in Nigeria is very poor. Shadiness as to the dollar, we are very, very poor.
Okay.
The issue of, which is still a major concern to Nigeria, is the issue of, which is still the reason why we may not ever be able to score well, it has to do with Nigerians who have immunity.
Okay.
Once you see a Nigerian with immunity, and then it's diplomatic corps with immunity, and you have them use currency anyhow, you cannot see a governor spending with immunity and say he will not also spend with impunity.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying now? So that's one other. And then number two, number next, for the reason of saying Transparency International is scoring us low. What is our human capital development index? The federal government of the day, how much is budgeted into development of human capital in Nigeria? The answer is I don't even think there's anything like that. The ITF, which is the Industrial Training Fund in Nigeria, I don't think it even has the budget this year. So Transparency International will use all these principles. Again, number next is to look at our labor flight.
60 seconds. 60 seconds.
You understand what I'm saying, sir? So all these things put together, I'm even surprised that we scored 24 out of 100.
What were you expecting?
Probably, I was thinking from the 162 of last year, will probably be 170. And if you look at it, all the other countries that we are past more than, sir, there are countries that are almost near to war.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. They are almost near to war. But we are not in war, but we are still in the neighborhood. And the man who says he's going to take us out of corruption has added a lot of...
Dr. Cornerstone.
Okay, Dr. Cornerstone, thank you very much for being a part of the program today. Thank you very much. And wishing you a happy new month and very
thank you very much.
February.
Yes.
Happy new month.
Thank you to you. Thank you. It's my birth month, so Dr. Cornerstone, prepare my...
When is your birthday?
The 22nd of this month.
22nd?
Yes.
Few days to election.
Okay.
Few days to election.
No problem.
We'll do it on the election.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We will bring the ballot paper.
All right. So if you want to be a part of the show this morning, it is 0909 88 89939 and 0912 22 22 939. Remember, our Facebook page is open as well, and you can drop your comments. Solutions 939 FM. Solutions 939 FM on Facebook. We'll take the comments. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Tony from Malacca.
Ruth, okay, let's have your take. 60 seconds.
Yeah, I hope this deadline extension will be fruitful and bring an end to all these problems we are facing in getting the new note. Because POS operators now impose more charges on every transaction, which is as if we are using money to buy money. So this really shows the current APC government has failed to put in place measures that will make the policy work effectively. So all these politicians are not even affected in any way. So it's really the masses that are the receiving hand. God will help us.
Amen. A big amen to that. Okay.
We really appreciate that. 0909 88 89 939 0912 22 22 939. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Month.
Happy
Wish
New
you
Month.
the same.
Yeah, you know, first tradition is not the only factor that will affect the forthcoming general election. Insecurity, hardship, and other factors will definitely affect the election. Reason why Nigeria needs to vote rightly in this forthcoming general election by putting an end to APC maladministration. Enough of their nonsense, enough of their incompetency. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's try to pick some comments on the Facebook page. Okay, let's pick this call first.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. 60 seconds, sir.
This is Aziz. I'm calling from Egeda.
Okay, let's have your take.
I don't know if they are going to enjoy the benefit of dividends of democracy under the administration of Baba Buhari in this country. Because we keep experiencing fuel scarcity. We are experiencing scarcity of new naira notes now. We are queuing to get fuel. We are suffering to get the new naira notes. We are buying our money with our money. This hardship is getting too much on the masses. They are changing their next level is to inflict more on Nigerians. I don't know how we got into business under this administration. May God deliver us.
Amen. Okay, let's take this comment. Miriam Yetunde, good morning. So far, every policy made under this APC administration at the federal level has no meaningful benefits on the masses, ranging from NIN, because no terrorist has been apprehended using NIN. And here comes again with this cashless policy so that politicians won't engage in vote buying. But do we have politicians on the long queue at any ATM point? A good question there. Are they not the ones having free access to the money already? I hope the motive towards the redesigning of these notes will not end up being in futility. A good one there from Miriam Yetunde.
Ayodele Damilola says, I have already maintained that many commercial banks are working with politicians. There's far more fraud going on with this currency on 4 million naira. Last, the politicians are fully in charge of this country banking system of the country.
Okay, Omadi Adekunle, despite the economic hardships, fuel scarcity, the scarcity of new naira notes we are experiencing in Nigeria, the CBN has stylishly collected the old notes we should be using to maintain ourselves. Now we are struggling to get the new naira notes, struggling to get fuel, and struggling to cater for daily consumption. The hardships are getting too much on the masses. It seems their change and next level are to inflict more pains on average Nigerians. May God deliver us.
It hit me hard yesterday for me to go into Dapo's bag yesterday to look for cash. Meanwhile, Dapo too didn't have cash. Well, let's look at Okoyemi Akonji's comment. The way INEC said fuel scarcity will be a threat to the general elections is a shame on this country. A country blessed with so many resources, but we are suffering from it. As we know, some citizens will have to travel to other states to cast their votes. Now we are buying fuel at 350 naira per liter, which will definitely stop some citizens from traveling to vote.
Okay, and Abiola Omotosho, the last comment I'll be taking on our Facebook page. The manner the CBN governor extended the deadline date for the old naira note is good because of the poor masses who are yet to get the money. But the extension should not exceed 10 days if they want the cashless policy to be effective, because if it exceeds 10 days, it means the policy is dead on arrival. But CBN should make the money available for the masses. Nigerians should understand that if we want to develop as a country, it requires many processes which might affect us one way or the other, but at the end will benefit us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Happy New Month. If you were still
Hey,
We're still happy New Month, sir. Good morning.
Dr. Kadas supposed to come to that realization that this is no policy at all. It is no policy. It's just, they are just eating up the policy so that at the end of the day, we might end up not having a successful election. We are talking about fuel, talking about money. Even for the power problem, there is there too. The insecurity is there. People are stoning the president, doing so many other things. So it's no policy. What they are doing intentionally because of the forthcoming election. And I think the fact that we just sit down and realize and let our talk and over be there for us to accept anything they try to push at us so that at the end of the day we have a very successful election. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. That's about the last call we can take on the program because we need to leave the studio right now because I can see Kolade Olagunju already standing by to take us through the program. Okay, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who called in and those that sent in their messages, and most importantly, those that tuned in to listen to this program. Thank you very much for always being there. We will be back again tomorrow, God willing, to give you another fresh edition of the program, AM Update on Solutions 93.9 FM. But before we leave, let me wish my wonderful and pretty colleague of mine, Oluwatoyin Akintayo, who is marking her birthday. She's opening the floor for all the Februarians today.
What?
Februarians, okay, for all the people born in the... And Kolade Olagunju is also one of the Februarians, okay. I think his own is on Saturday, coming on Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. We wish
we know each other when we see each other.
we wish you all many happy returns of the day. To Oluwatoyin Akintayo, many happy returns of this day. Good morning, my name is Adidamola Lafenwa. Catch you tomorrow.
And my name is Favor Olorotila. Please stay safe, be good, and just be good.